Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you are all doing well. So, ladies and gentlemen, this video is for ones who are preparing for the competitive exams. And now we are starting off with one of the most important topics. So, today our topic of discussion is Israel-Palestine conflict, or you can say Israel-Palestine conundrum or Israel-Palestine problem. Let's delve into the topic. Obviously, we'll start with the history, a little background, so you can grab the main idea. Palestine conflict is undeniably the only issue in the world history that has an impact on global level, be it global security, security of Middle East, overall morality, or the history of two nations and their future. Although many people attribute it to a religious conflict, but it's not. It's more of a territorial conflict. The issue began in 1920s, that's approximately 100 years ago, which makes it the oldest conflict in the West Asia. Okay, before that, let me take you back into history when the Zionist movement began. It was around mid-19th century when some Jews joined forces to protect their identity, for which they launched a movement known as Zionism. This was basically a religious, political and ideological movement which had two aims. One was that to put an end to the centuries of persecution, and two, to take Jews back to their ancient homeland. And that movement was what brought Jews back to Palestine. And for your information, Zionism is Israel's national ideology today. Towards the end of 19th century, Zionism, this movement, led to massive Jewish immigrations to Palestine, and by 1903, at least 30,000 had re-established themselves in Palestine, and by 1914, 40,000 more Jews had resettled there. But then came the time of First World War, when the Ottoman Empire collapsed. The British and the French empires carved up West Asia, with the British taking control of the region under the British mandate for Palestine. So this is the time when they allowed British allowed Jewish immigration, but as more Jews arrived, tensions escalated between Jews and Arabs, which compelled and forced the British to limit Jewish immigration. But then the World War II began, and after the rise of Nazi Germany, 6 million Jews were persecuted and 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust, while the remaining fled to US and Palestine in large numbers. And this way, the Jews established a strong foothold in Palestine. But of course, tensions never settled, and the sectarian violence between Arabs and Jews grew, and United Nations intervened. The United Nations approved a plan to divide British Palestine into two separate states, one for Jews called Israel and one for Arabs called Palestine. The Jews accepted this UN partition plan, and on 14th May 1948 they proclaimed independence and they formed a new state called Israel. On the other side, Palestinians viewed this as theft and they accused Jews of stealing their land. And what followed was the decades of endless animosity between the Jews and the Arabs. Since then, around 8 recognized wars and 2 Palestinian intifadas or uprisings and a series of armed conflicts have taken place. So now we'll quickly move on to the recent conflict that took place in May 2021. And now the Israel-Palestine conflict resurfaced in May 2021, the most intense hostility in years. But the question is, what led to the recent escalation? What actually triggered the recent conflict? Now this is part 2 of our previous video, in which we were discussing the Israel-Palestine conflict and the recent escalations. So to be precise, tensions between Israel and Hamas escalated on the 7th of May 2021, and before one could take stock, a fight broke out, the worst since 2014, and it lasted for 11 days and kept the world on its toes. Around approximately 4,300 rockets were fired from Gaza into Israel, and Israel bombarded the Gaza Strip. And finally, the 11 days of non-stop violence finally ended, with a ceasefire agreement between Hamas and Israel, which was brokered by Egypt. But this all happened against the backdrop of certain developments. The first trigger was that even before the beginning of the holy month of Ramadan, the Israeli police barricaded the Damascus gate and restricted the entry of Muslim Arabs into the old city of Jerusalem, which was widely protested by the Palestinians. Number 2 is the neighborhood of Sheikh Jarrah. It is a neighborhood in East Jerusalem where many Palestinian families were ordered to vacate their homes. Also, some extremist right-wing Jews had provocating rallies in the neighborhood of East Jerusalem where they carried the slogans "Death to Arabs." When the rallies passed, fights broke out between the Jews and the Arab Muslims, which further heightened the tensions. In the past several years, in East Jerusalem, many Palestinian families had to face evictions. And the third is when the Israeli police raided the Al-Aqsa Mosque. On 7th May, Palestinian people were protesting against these evictions. These protests turned violent, stones were thrown, and the Israeli police tried to control the situation. The police and the protesters crashed and people were injured. Then on 10th May, the Israeli police entered the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Rubber bullets were fired and stun grenades were thrown at the Palestinians there. And after hearing the news of the mosque attack, the Hamas group gave an ultimatum to the Israeli government. Hamas group warned the Israeli government to withdraw Israeli police from the mosque or else they would attack. And after some hours, Hamas started firing rockets at Israel, and Israel retaliated with airstrikes on Gaza. And the airstrikes killed many Palestinians in Gaza. But Israel blames Hamas for escalating the conflict by firing rockets from Gaza at the civilian population of Israel, and the airstrikes on Gaza as a major justified response. So now I'm ending this video here, and in next video we'll discuss the response of the international observers and the world community. And if my video helped you in some way, then please share and like the video. Thank you.